Okay, so what this is going to do is going to animate from now 48 hours back. So what you can see a little bit slowly is, if you look at the time up in the top corner up there, you can see that during the day, in the middle of London, I should probably zoom out a bit. Okay, I will describe it then. If we could get it to work, what would happen is in the middle of London. Oh golly. See, here you go. This is. I blame the browser rather than this is OpenLayer. So yeah, I'm really confusing now. Yeah. So what would happen if it actually works? Kind of half working now, is you'd see in central London, you'd see during kind of office hours, so 9 to 5, you get all of the bike stations will start to go red, and then now because it's 22:10, so 10 past 10 in the evening, all of these stations are empty because everybody's gone home. So everyone's cycled into central London, filled up all the bike stations, then they cycle back home again and fill up all the ones on the south side of the river and up in North London. Which, if you look at it with Firefox, is really, really, fun's maybe a strong word, but it certainly interests me.
So it's like a migration pattern.
Exactly, yeah. You just see people coming in and going out. Right, and that was built with a combination of OpenStreetMap, which I'm sure other people will talk about, which is a free, like Wikipedia for maps, and I guess everybody will know about that. So that's truly open source GI data, and they also mix in OS code point to do some of the geocoding. It's done by a guy at UCL, and it's very cool. Okay, so we talked a bit about data. Talked a bit about software. Phil talked a bit about software at the start. So at OS, we kind of recognise that it's probably not enough to just dish out our data. So what we want to do is make things a little bit easier for people and give them some tools and APIs that they can use to actually make best use or extract some value from our data. So firstly, and a number of these things predate or kind of unrelated to open data. They just sort of happen to all fall in, all sort of happen to have a similar objective. This is some software on SourceForge called OSGB Web Map Tools. It's effectively a customized version of GeoServer, one of the open source web map services that was on Phil's slide. That's bundled with a whole bunch of other tools that you can use in conjunction with OS data to create a service that looks like OS OpenSpace. So you can go and download that. It is, I have to admit, a little bit behind. It is a little bit behind GeoServer and indeed OpenLayers, which we also chuck in with it. We mentioned very briefly Inspire. So for anybody that doesn't know, there's a European directive that aims to encourage data sharing or sharing of data sets that have anything to do with environmental research across Europe.
It's a bit more than encourage, isn't it?
Yeah,
Force.
Well, I didn't know that's encourage, dictate the mandatory sharing of data with relation to environment. What you have to do is you have to publish metadata about your data, you have to publish a web map service, and you also have to make the data available for download. So what we're doing in conjunction with the guys at the UK location programme, DEFRA and data.gov, is providing a set of software that anybody that needs to do something under Inspire, so if you work in local authority, for example, in a couple of years you may have data sets that fall under Inspire, you'll be able to pick up these pieces of software and use them to meet your Inspire obligation. So we have live at the moment a metadata toolkit that's based on the open source software GeoNetwork that you can use either online or you can download and install in your own Office, which you can use to create metadata that is Inspire compliant. OS are upgrading GeoServer because all of our web services use open source software at some point. Some of the main commercial ones that we sell to customers are powered by GeoServer, so we're upgrading GeoServer to make it Inspire compliant, and then we're releasing that code back into, or we're contributing rather that code back into the core of GeoServer, and then in conjunction with the UK location program, we're kind of adding a bit of extra value by providing some documentation so that people can take the standard GeoServer software, which will now be Inspire compliant, and then install it and add their data sets and meet their Inspire obligations. Yeah, anybody that's got any thoughts about how we could do that well or better, or anything to contribute, just give us a shout. And then finally, I wanted to cover OS OpenSpace. So, firstly, this is completely built with open source software, which is kind of interesting. We have knocking on the door of about 9,000 people using OpenSpace. It's used by, commercial versions of it are used by people like the Times are just about to sign up and use it. It's been used by the Tour of Britain, which is the new name for what was called when I was a kid the milk race. Yeah, and a whole bunch of people using it. It's an API that allows you to access Ordnance survey mapping and embed it in your own website. The API itself is based on OpenLayers, which was one of the JavaScript libraries for use to create web mapping clients. The reason we chose OpenLayers was it kind of seemed the most mature at the time, and it gives us a whole bunch of features that we don't have to code ourselves. So for example, OpenLayers out of the box can connect to another WMS, out of the box it can connect to Esri image services, block KML files, block GRSS files, that sort of thing. What does OpenSpace let you do? Fairly standard stuff really. It lets you put spots or maps and have bubbles come up with HTML inside. It lets you zoom and pan, and then it also, handily from us, we provide you with copyright statements that you can guarantee are exactly right. The screenshot in the middle is a new website that was just launched a couple of weeks ago by Essex County Council, who are using OpenSpace on their publicly facing site for citizens to find things like libraries, adult education centres, and that sort of thing. Okay, so under OpenSpace you get all of the raster data sets that fall under OS OpenData, but you also get, where is it there? You also get the 1 to 50,000 scale mapping, which isn't an open data set, but you are able to use it through OpenSpace. With regard to the vectors, we have a service that you can use to look up, to make gazetteer requests. We have a service you can use to do postcode lookups, and then importantly, we have simplified the open data boundary line data set and put it into OpenSpace so that people can create the maps really fairly simply and easily. The reason we simplified it is that these boundaries are all drawn up by the browser, so we have to simplify generalise the boundary outline, boundary lines, whatever the word is, in order that we can render those efficiently in a browser. Okay, then in conjunction with that, we provide a whole bunch of tools that make it easy for people to get started using OpenSpace. We use MediaWiki, we have a forum. We have MediaWiki, which is open source wiki software that we've got all our documentation and examples and things in. And then we provide a tool called Web Map Builder, which some lucky person is going to get to use today. Okay, here's some examples of what people are doing with OpenSpace. This lady's an MP. She has used the boundary data set of, I'm sure it's not her, somebody that works with her probably has used the boundary line data set on her map, and when you click on her website, when you click on one of the awards, it gives you the latest information about that particular award. Bournemouth Council, you can go to their website, and if you see an abandoned car, you can click on an Ordnance survey map and report that to Bournemouth, so they get a nice accurate location for these abandoned cars. You can go scoop them up. There's a bunch of people doing things on iPhones and Android phones. As you might imagine, there's a whole bunch of applications that centre around walking and cycling and getting out and about. This one lets you digitise routes that you then download as a GPS to your device, or likewise if you've gone out for a walk or a cycle, you can upload a GPS file as well. In Cheshire, they've got the locations of speed cameras or accident hotspots. This guy I love because it's just so niche, but I just think it's fab. This guy is really interested in the etymology of road names. So he